Justin? Yep. Okay. All right, welcome everyone to the MPO meeting for today. I'll turn it over to Justin to read the roll. Take it away, Justin.
Okay. Massachusetts Transportation Secretary, CEO of MassDOT, Jamie Tesler.
Steve Wolfer representing him here.
MassDOT Highway Administrator, Jonathan Gulliver.
Ryan Fallon representing Highway Administrator Gulliver.
NMMPO Chair, Andrew Delaurier.
Here.
Okay. LRTA Board Chair, Tom Bummel.
Present.
LRTA MPO Representative, Mark Kratman. Don't see him. NIMCOG MPO Representative, Pat Wojcik.
Here.
And Lowell City Council Representative, Dan Rourke, who I don't see. Okay, that's the roll.
Justin,
Yeah, Tom.
Mark is no longer going to be a member of this committee. We're going to be submitting a new name to you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Tom.
All right.
All right, we'll move on to agenda item 2, which is the minutes for July 27th, 2022. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the minutes?
Move to approve, Pat Wojcik.
Second, Tom Bummel.
Any changes or questions about the minutes? All right, seeing none. Justin, you want to read the roll?
Sure. Steve Wolfle,
Yes.
Brian Fallon,
Yes.
Andrew Delaurier,
Yes.
Tom Bummel,
Yes.
and Pat Wojcik.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we'll move on to agenda item 3, which is status reports on TIP projects. We'll start with the Highway Division. So take it away.
Hi, this is Tim Paris, District 4 Planner. The revisions we've had since our last meeting, project 612535, Chelmsford improvements on 3A Princeton Street from Richardson Road to Technology Drive. It's had its add date revised to 10/2/2050. Similarly, Chelmsford Interstate Preservation on I-495, which is 610725, also had the add date revised to 10/2/2050. If you could scroll up, usually I have mine up, but my window just vanished on me. 608227 has gone to 75% design, and we've got revised estimates for that along with the 75% design. The 607885 Lowell pedestrian walkway bicycle connection at Pawtucket Falls Overlook from Vandenberg Esplanade to School Street is being deactivated. And the 607681 Chelmsford bridge replacement, Gorham Street over I-495 is being combined with 605645, and it's going to have a new number, 612631. 609250 Billerica intersection improvements at Boston Road, Lexington Street, and Glad Valley Road has gone to 75% design, and we have a new estimate for that. 609035 Westford rehabilitation of Boston Road has gotten a new estimate. 608774 Lowell Tewksbury Route 38 intersection improvements has gone to 100% design, and we have new estimates for that. And 608346 Tewksbury's intersection improvements at Main Street, Salem Road, and South Street. That the construction is now 100% complete. And similarly, 608257 Lowell deck replacements, Lowell connector over Industrial Avenue East. The construction there is also 100% complete. I believe that's all we have.
All right. Any questions for Tim on these projects or anything else? All right. I don't see any. Thanks, Tim. I believe the next update is from LRTA. Anything on that front?
Is Ally on the call today or?
Yeah, she is.
Sorry, I'm here.
Oh,
As far as our, the commuter access ADA, project, we're still working on design there. We hope to be ready to, start the RFP process, later, in this fall and hoping to award after the new year. We've received, 2 hybrid buses, to replace, 2010 Gillig diesels. Those are being prepared to be put in service, and we anticipate them in service within the next month. That's the update for today. Happy to answer any questions.
All right, anyone have any questions for Ally? All right, seeing none. Thanks, Ally. Next one is anything from you guys, Justin, from staff? All right, we'll move on to agenda item 4, which is open forum for public comment. Any members of the public like to address the MPO today? All right, seeing none, we'll move to agenda item 5, which is Envision 2050, the Northern Middlesex Regional Transportation Plan. And Justin, I don't know who's doing it, but I'll turn it over to you.
That'd be Shrivanti, our transportation planner.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. I hope you can see my screen. Good afternoon, everyone. So NMCOG is currently embarking on updating the long-range regional transportation plan, Envision 2050, for the fiscal year 2024 to 2050. Envision 2050 is a 25-year plan designed to identify transportation issues in the region and address them through federal funding allocated by the US DOT. The plan serves as the framework for transportation investments in highways, bridges, public transportation, bicycle and pedestrian facilities, and transportation-related air quality improvements. Our goal is to develop a multimodal, cost-effective, energy-efficient transportation system that is fair and equitable for all users in our region. The goal areas are safety, infrastructure, multimodal transportation efforts, economic development, environmental impacts, and transportation equity. Our outreach goals are to identify, address, listen, and build consensus around transportation issues and priorities in our region, to educate people about the process, to focus on multimodal transportation planning, to reach out to residents, visitors, and others, to utilize an equitable outreach and engagement process. Now some strategies for public outreach. This includes kickoff meetings, survey, municipal staff meetings, neighborhood group and council of aging meetings, advertisements on social media, libraries, bus shelters, city town halls, and other public places. Transportation mode-based sessions like focus groups, small group discussions and meetings, etc. Meeting in a box type of focused meetings and email distribution list. A little bit about the overarching timeline. So the timeline for our outreach is to have the kickoff meeting on November 2nd and to continue the public input process and opportunities, thereby data collection and analysis through February. Survey will be released in the kickoff meeting and will be open for inputs till February. Other public input opportunities includes the strategies that I discussed earlier. More guidance and financial information will be available in January. So from February to March, we will have more focused transportation mode-based sessions and small focus groups. A draft report will be developed and presented to the MPO in June and will be open for public comments in July and will be endorsed in July MPO meeting. So as a first step of our outreach, we will have our kickoff meeting on November 2nd from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. at UTech Lowell. Kickoff meeting flyer will be shared soon, and please feel free to share the flyer with others who might be interested to be part of this process. More information on RTP outreach will be made available on our NMCOG website. And please feel free to reach out with any questions.
All right, anyone have any questions? Justin, do you want to add anything or are you good?
And so, I mean, so we'll be sending out an email to everyone advertising when all of the information for the kickoff meeting. And we'd like you to, we'll distribute it to our list, but we'd like you to distribute it to as many lists as possible so we can get a good group together for the kickoff meeting.
All right, so please try to help out staff getting the word out. So thank you. And as we get started with a new plan. All right, with that, we'll move to agenda item 6, which is the Northern Middlesex Annual Safety Report. Who's this, Justin? Is it?
That'd be David.
All right, take it away.
All right. Hi, my name is David Tilton. I'm a transportation planner at the Northern Middlesex Council of Government. So we're going to be talking about the 2022 Regional Safety Report. Transportation safety is affected by the way a transportation system is designed and is an important topic to study given the potential for property damage, injuries, and loss of life. It's also has been identified as an emphasis area by the FHWA and is supported through planning factors in the bipartisan infrastructure law. But before we can figure out how to improve transportation safety in our region, we must collect and analyze crash data, which is the purpose of this report. The data analysis in this report can lead to further detailed studies through the UPWP, the Road Safety Audit Program, and the HSIP program. That information is then used when developing NMCOG's TIP and Regional Transportation Plan. The 2022 Middlesex Regional Safety Report examines transportation safety conditions across the region. And over the past 2 decades, Northern Middlesex MPO staff has worked with Mass DOT, FHWA, FTA, and the LRTA to identify safety issues that need to be addressed and strive to prioritize projects with safety benefits. Ensuring the safe travel of the public is the most important goal of this program. And here we have transportation performance management is a data-driven strategic process that uses system information to make investment and policy decisions in order to achieve performance goals. The FHWA established the National Performance Management Rules addressing safety in April of 2016. And Mass DOT and the Northern Middlesex MPO are charged with established safety performance targets that address these safety performance measures, including the following: number of fatalities, the rate of fatalities per 100 million vehicle miles traveled, or VMT, number of serious injuries, the rate of serious injuries per 100 million VMT, and the number of non-motorized fatalities and serious injuries. In 2018, Mass DOT established statewide performance targets for each national measure outlined in the rulemaking from 2016. The Northern Middlesex MPO has collaborated with Mass DOT and regional partners to establish and refine regional targets and adopt the state targets and update them annually. January of 2022 was the latest statewide targets adopted by the Northern Middlesex MPO. And here we have this slide shows the long-term targets for the region. This reflects the 2022 Northern Middlesex Regional Transportation Plan's goal of a 20% reduction in fatalities and serious injuries by 2040. And here we're now getting to some crash data. This slide shows the total crashes in the NMCOG region for the years 2015 through 2019. We have a total of 34,757 crashes in the region in that time period. The encouraging part is starting in 2017 and continuing through 2019, we see a sharp downward trend in crashes throughout the NMCOG region. We hope this continues in the future. Here we have crashes by severity as a percentage of the whole. Out of the 34,757 crashes between 2015 and 2019, fatal crashes made up 0.2% or 59 total crashes. The biggest piece of the pie here is property damage only crashes, which were 68.8% of the total. And crashes with serious and non-fatal injuries were 22.4, and unknown reported rounded out with 8.7%. Oops, sorry. And here we have a pie chart showing crashes by community between the years 2015 2019. Lowell being our largest, most population dense community has just under 50% of all reported crashes during that time period. The flip side of the coin is Dunstable, our most rural community, least dense population wise, is only 1% of the total crashes for our region during this time period. This is a slide showing the top crash locations in the region. If you'll notice that 9 out of the 10 locations are in the city of Lowell. The only one that is outside the city of Lowell is number 4, Route 110 Littleton Road at Boston Road in Westford. I would like to draw your attention to the number 1 VFW Highway at Bridge Street. This intersection is always number 1, or at least in the top 3 of all our top 10 crash locations. In 2015-2017 reporting period, it was reported that VFW Highway at Bridge Street had 232 total crashes and an EPDO of 277. As you can see here, for the 2017-19 period at the same intersection, total crashes have reduced to 121 with an EPDO of 221. The reduction of crashes in the EPDO score at this intersection shows that safety upgrades implemented are having some effect at lowering the number and severity of crashes. Here we have the top crash intersections in each of our communities in the regional rank. As we saw in the last slide, only Lowell and Westford have a location in the top 10 on this one. The majority of our communities fall within the top 30%, except for Pepperell at 51 for regional rank, and Dunstable, our most rural community, at 235. Now we're going on to bike and pedestrian statistics. The pedestrian crash totals are represented by this dark blue line at the top. Bicycles are at this light gray line below. We can see here that pedestrian crashes happen at almost a rate of 40% higher than bicycle crashes throughout the reporting period, but we do see some good news with a slight downward trend in both in 2015-2016. We have here Lowell Regional Transit Authority's preventable accident rate. The LRTA tracks preventable accidents per 100,000 miles as part of a safety performance measure. Most of these happen, the preventable accidents happen in the winter months when snow in snowbanks causes a narrowing of the roadways. People park into the roadways more. The 2015 winter season was particularly severe, which showed a abnormal increase in accident data. And for 2019 through 2021, that reflects the expanded reporting as required by the Federal Transit Administration's requirements in the Lowell Regional Transit Authority's Public Transportation Agency Safety Plan. Under that plan, minor accidents are now being included in the reporting, which will show a higher rate of preventable crashes, and that's likely to continue into the future. And here we have a couple programs that address safety. The UPWP, and more specifically Task 3.2, Transportation Safety and Security, is the task that gives us our marching orders when it comes to transportation safety. We monitor all safety for all users of the transportation network. It includes reporting on top crash locations in the region for all modes of transportation, as well as development of this report. And through the development of this report, the Northern Middlesex MPO identifies future locations for performing road safety audits so that HSIP money funding can be sought through the TIP. And one of the ways that we identify locations for enhanced study is using MassDOT's impact portal, or more specifically, the High Crash Clusters interactive map. Through the High Crash Clusters interactive map, we can identify locations that will be eligible for assistance through HSIP. Safe routes to school in our region, 6 communities and 31 schools currently participate in the Safe Routes to School program. And the Complete Streets funding program is a program that assists eligible communities in implementing and constructing bicycle and pedestrian facilities. And here we have a chart showing some of our more recent Complete Streets projects. You can see the project name description, and on the right-hand side, the grant awarded for those. Communities in the Greater Lowell region have been very active in this program. All our communities have been participating in it as of 2020, and all communities have an approved prioritization plan. 6 of our 9 communities have been approved for funding under Complete Streets projects. All right, that concludes my presentation on the 2022 Northern Middlesex Transportation Safety Report. If anyone would like a copy of the report or has any questions, please feel free to contact me via the information on the slide. I can take any questions if there are any.
Sorry, I was muted. Anyone have any questions? All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. All
We'll
right.
we'll also put this on our website as well. It's already up on there.
All right. Thanks, Justin. So now we'll move to agenda item 7, which is tip review study, a look at safety impacts, a tip funded projects in Lowell and Tewksbury.
Thank you. So for this year's tip review, the 2 intersections that were selected are East Street, Dascom Road, and Sawsheen Street intersection in Tewksbury, and VFW Highway, Bridge Street, and Lakeview Avenue in Lowell. The purpose of tip before after study is to compile and review data and compare the safety conditions before project implementation and after project completion to assess the effectiveness of the the projects. The 3 measures of effectiveness are total number of crashes, equivalent property damage only score, that is EPDO score, and intersection crash rate. The RSA was conducted in February 2011 at East Street, Dascom Road, and Sawsheen Street in Tewksbury, and it was programmed for 2014, and the construction was completed in 2016, while RSA was conducted in August 2007 at VFW Highway, Bridge Street, and Lakeview Avenue in Lowell, and it was programmed for 2014, and the construction was completed in 2017. So the first tip project is the intersection and signal improvements at East Street, Dascom Road, and Sawsheen Street in the towns of Andover and Tewksbury. This intersection is located at town line of Tewksbury and Andover. East Street is located west of the intersection, Dascom Road is located east of the intersection, and Sawsheen Street is located south of the intersection, which form a T intersection. And this is a busy intersection since it feeds to 93. The properties that abut the intersection are mostly commercial and industrial. Before improvements, all 3 roadways were 2-way and single-lane approaches to the intersection. Sawsheen Street was under stop control, while East Street and Dascom Road were under free flow. This resulted in delays in vehicles taking left turns westbound from Sawsheen to East Street. There was an issue with sight distance due to the crest vertical curves that were present on East Street. And there were also connectivity issues between sidewalks and crosswalks, and pavement markings were faded. So after the improvements, the intersection was signalized with an exclusive pedestrian phase. There were some geometric changes like corner radii, and the crest vertical curve was corrected to improve the sight distance. The pavement markings were redone. So this is looking east of the intersection. Some visible improvements are new signal, ADA access curb cuts, corner radii, and an exclusive left turn lane from Sawsheen to East Street. The road has been widened at the intersection to accommodate the additional right-left turn lanes, and 4-foot shoulders are added to all approaches. So this is looking at the panorama view from East Street to Dashcom Road. And the corner radii were mainly adjusted to accommodate the truck turning movement, since these roadways are heavily truck concentrated, since it feeds to 93. New sidewalks were installed on the north and south side of East Street. New crosswalks were installed on the East Street eastbound and Sawsheen approaches. So looking at the total crashes, they have reduced from 9 in 2007 to 1 in 2019. And the 3-year average EPDO score has reduced from 16 in 2006 to 2008 to 2 in 2017 to 2019, where 49 in 2007 to 2009 is an outlier. So when we compare the crash rate before improvements and after improvements, there were about 1.65 crashes per MEV in 2011. That is before improvements, and 0.09 crashes per MEV in 2017 to 2019 after the improvements. And when we look at the average crash rate in MassDOT District 4 for signalized intersection, it is 0.85. So there has the crash rate has improved. Looking at a summary of total crashes, EPDO score, and crash rate, we see that there is a reduction of total crashes by 90.5%, reduction of EPDO score by 95.9%, and reduction of crash rate by 91.4%. Moving on to the second project, which is signal and intersection improvements at VFW Highway, Bridge Street, and Lakeview Avenue in Lowell. The VFW Highway, Bridge Street, and Lakeview Avenue was initially a 5-legged signalized intersection. The geometry of the intersection itself was an issue due to the proximity of Lakeview Avenue, which feeded to the VFW Highway as a 5th leg. Before improvements, the westbound VFW Highway approach had a slip lane for right turn. It had 2 through lanes and a dedicated left turn lane at the intersection, while Bridge Street intersected VFW Highway, while Lakeview Avenue joined VFW Highway as the 5th leg. All other approaches at the intersection were 2 lanes except northbound Bridge Street, which had 1 through right turn lane and a dedicated left turn lane. Sidewalks and crosswalks were present along all approaches before improvements, and there were no indications of lane utilization. So it was confusing for road users. So looking at after improvements, a major geometric change was made to align eastbound travel lanes in VFW with the opposing westbound travel lane. Another geometric change was done to the Lakeview Avenue, and instead of exiting the traffic in VFW, there was a section included to exit the traffic into the VFW over here. So looking at the lane utilization signages, pavement markings, and turn delineation markings were provided at the intersection after improvements, and the traffic signal facing for protected left turn lane face was introduced along with an exclusive pedestrian face. Curb cuts were also provided, and the general visibility issues related to pedestrian signal heads were resolved. Now, looking at the total crashes at this intersection, we see that the crashes have reduced from 55 in 2006 to 46 in 2019. And as Dave mentioned earlier, this is a very high traffic and highest crash record intersection. Looking at the average three-year average EPDO score, it has reduced from 285 in 2006 to 2008 to 221 in 2007 to 2017 to 2019. Comparing the crash rates before the improvements with the after improvements, we see that before improvements, there were 4.35 crashes per MEV in 2008 and 2.2 crashes per MEV in 2017 to 2019, which is after the improvements. And the average crash rate in Masdar District 3 for a signalized intersection is 0.78 crashes per MEV. A quick summary of total crashes, EPDO score, and crash rate. There is a reduction of about 52.5% in total crashes, reduction of about 22.5% in EPDO score, and reduction of 49.4% in crash rate. And for an intersection that is really busy, I think this looks great. After intersection improvements, there were about 90% reduction in total crashes, EPDO score, and crash rate at the first intersection, that is East Street, Dascom Road, and Sawsheen in Tewksbury, and about 50% reduction in total crashes and crash rate, while 22% reduction in EPDO score at VFW Highway, Bridge Street, and Lakeview Avenue intersection in Lowell. I'm sorry. Just a minute. So the report will be available on NMCOG's website, and copy can be shared based upon request. Please feel free to reach out with any questions, and I can take if there are any questions now. Thank you.
All right, any questions for, it's Shrivanti, right? Is that all right?
Yes.
All right, any questions? Nope. All right, thank you very much, Shrivanti.
Thank you.
All right, I believe we're on to other business. Am I right, Justin?
Yes.
So do you guys have any other business? I have one item, but it'll be quick. Just for those folks that want to go to Moving Together, we already have over almost 550 registrations. Those are both virtual and in person, since it'll be a hybrid event. So I don't know where the in person, but you know, I'm expecting to have it like an old style Moving Together where you have like over 700-800 people in person. So at some point, as those folks have gone, you know, we stretched the fire code a little bit and stuff. So please make sure you register, because you know, we want a lot of people there, but we also need to manage with the hotel. So please make sure to do that.
What's the date on that, Steve?
It's November 1st, the day after Halloween, Justin. As I joke, you know what the consultants will be giving out. They'll be giving out all the unused Halloween candy for their trick-or-treaters in the neighborhood. So
A lot of candy corn.
exactly. So with that, I just need a motion and a second to adjourn.
So moved, Tom Bommel.
Second, Pat Wojcik.
All right, all in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
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 All right, thank you, everybody. Enjoy the fall. Good presentations today from David Travanti. So I guess we'll meet next month, the same time, same usual time, right?
October 26th.
Okay. See everyone. Be safe. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.